It was around 12:30 in the morning when I first noticed the car. I wasn't asleep yet. I was home alone for the weekend. My parents were visiting my aunt in Connecticut, and I stayed behind to study and have the house to myself. We live in a quiet, tucked-away suburban neighbourhood. Nothing ever really happens on our street. It's lined with identical two-storey homes, porch lights glowing yellow, trees casting shadows on neatly trimmed lawns. At that hour, the whole block should have been silent. My neighbours on both sides were also out of town. The family to the right had left earlier in the afternoon for a camping trip in Pennsylvania. The couple on the left were away visiting their daughter in Chicago. I remembered seeing their porch lights off earlier in the night, and both driveways were empty. There wasn't a single other house on the block with a car in front of it. I'd just finished brushing my teeth and was walking down the dark upstairs hallway when I passed the front bedroom window. The blinds were closed, but I caught a faint light through the slats. It wasn't bright, just a soft, steady glow. I paused. I leaned closer and peeked through the blinds. Parked directly in front of our house was a car. It wasn't running. It wasn't pulling up. It had clearly been there for a while. The only light was a faint white glow of its daytime LED strips. The kind that stay on even when the engine's off. I didn't recognise the car. It was some dark coloured sedan. Windows slightly tinted. It wasn't in front of a driveway, just sitting on the curb, directly in front of our house. Our street doesn't get through traffic. If you're here for someone. I stepped back from the window and turned off the hallway light so I could see better without being seen. Then I crept closer again, ducking low beneath the bottom of the window frame. The blinds were still closed, but I lifted one gently with 2 fingers. The man in the driver's seat was staring straight ahead. Not at the house, just forward. Blank. I couldn't see his face clearly, not in detail, but I could make out the outline of his head. Short hair. Still, eyes pointed straight towards the front of the car. His hands weren't on the wheel. He wasn't moving. Just sitting there, like he had been frozen that way. I stayed crouched. My knees started to hurt, but I didn't move. Something about the way he wasn't doing anything felt worse than if he had gotten out. Then I seen it. A faint flicker. The light of a phone screen lighting up the inside of a car for a few seconds. He was using his phone. That's when I moved. I backed away from the window slowly, staying low. I turned and walked down the hall, ducking past each window like I was sneaking around in a movie. When I reached the top of the stairs, I double-checked that the front door was locked. Then I checked the back. Then the garage. Every door, every window, locked. Curtains drawn, blinds shut. I made sure of it. I stood in the kitchen, heart beating fast, listening for anything. Footsteps, movement, an engine starting. Nothing. 12:48, my phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a call. No caller ID. I let it ring once. Twice. I didn't answer. It stopped on its own after the 3rd ring. No voicemail. I walked quietly back up to the front bedroom and crawled onto the carpet. I stayed low, crawled to the window again, and peeked through the blinds. He was still there. But this time, he was looking up at the house. His face was partially lit by the glow of his phone screen again. It wasn't aimed at him. It was tilted downward in his lap, but the light gave enough away. He was staring up, not at the window directly, but towards the 2nd floor. My floor. I drop the blind. I lay flat on the carpet, the kind of flat where you can feel your heart in your chest. A minute later, my phone rang again. No caller ID. I didn't answer. I stayed there on the floor, watching the screen. No message, nothing. At 1:04, I got another call. This time, I answered. There was no voice, but I could hear something. Not breathing, not static. It was a sound of someone walking. Footsteps on what sounded like gravel or crushed leaves. The steps stopped, then start again. One at a time, measured. I didn't say anything. The line went quiet, then a single noise came through. A soft clicking sound, like someone pressing a button on a car key fob. Then the line went dead. I stayed on the floor for a while after that. I didn't even realise I was holding my breath until I had to let it out. I crawled over to my desk and opened the drawer slowly and quietly. Grabbed a flashlight I kept for summer storms. Then my extra phone charger, then my laptop. I started texting my parents, even though I knew they were probably asleep. I told them there was someone parked in the front of the house. That I was fine. That the doors were locked. Then the landline rang. We still have one in the kitchen, old school cordless. It hardly ever rings. It rang loud, piercing, echoing throughout the whole house. I jumped to my feet. My phone was still in my hand and it lit up at the same time. No caller ID. Both phones were ringing. I didn't answer the cell. I walked slowly down the stairs, heart pounding in my ears, to the kitchen phone. Picked it up on the fourth ring. No sound. Just walking again. Slower this time. Closer. Then silence. Then one long inhale, like someone getting ready to speak. Then the line clicked and went dead. I stood there, in the kitchen, light off, on the edge of a full panic attack. Then I walked to the front of the house and peeked through the side of the curtain. The car was still there, but the man wasn't looking forward anymore. He was leaning slightly to the side, like he was trying to see around something, like he was trying to find me. Phone light flickered again in his hands. I backed away, grabbed my cell and dialed 911. My voice cracked, then I gave my address. I told him there was a man in a car parked in front of my house. He hadn't gotten out, he hadn't done anything, but he had been there for over an hour. He was calling me, calling the landline. I didn't know how he had that number. The dispatcher asked if I could see him now. I moved back to the window, looked through the blinds. The car was still there, but the driver's side door was open, and the seat was empty. Hello guys, and thank you for listening to tonight's episode of the podcast. I would like to thank SafeScareOfficial for allowing me to narrate this story. If you enjoyed this story, why not go ahead and check out r/SafeScare on Reddit. You won't regret it. Just to let you guys know, we have also launched our own subreddit, where you can submit your stories to be narrated by me or one of the team. Go check it out over at reddit.com/r/spooksnarrations. Good night.